Here on resistance means what is the effect of temperature on resistance of conductor. Suppose at 0 degrees Celsius resistance of the conductor is R0, at 100 degrees Celsius it become R100, and at unknown temperature T it is RT. So what is the change in resistance in between R0 to R100, that is delta R is equal to R100 minus R0. So since change in resistance of conductor depend on its initial resistance, it means if initial resistance is more, then change in resistance that will be more. And number 2, temperature difference. Temperature difference means if more temperature is given to conductor, then change in temperature resistance that will be more. If we combine these two relations, we get delta R proportional to R0 delta T. Suppose temperature difference is delta T. So R is equal to alpha R0 delta T. Correct? Alpha is proportional T constant and it is called temperature coefficient of resistance, and its value depend on nature of the conductor, that is alpha is equal to delta R upon R0 delta T. Correct? So its unit delta R resistance, R resistance, that is ohm and ohm get cancel out, it become 1 upon temperature. So its unit is per degree Celsius or Kelvin inverse. So what is the actual definition of temperature coefficient of resistance? Here suppose if R0 means initial resistance of the conductor is unit and increment in its temperature is also unit, R0 is unit and delta T is unit, then from this result alpha is equal to delta R. Alpha is equal to delta R. So how can we define alpha means temperature coefficient of resistance in terms of change in resistance? So temperature coefficient of resistance is numerically equal to change in resistance of that conductor whose initial resistance is unit and unit temperature is given to it. This is the definition of alpha. So let's see what are the effect of temperature in different substance. In metal, resistance is directly proportional to temperature, means if temperature increases, resistance of the conductor also increases. What happen here? Why resistance get increased? If temperature increases, then mobility of charge carrier also get increased. And since the number of charge carrier in metal is more, so what happen? They get collide with each other, and when they get collide with each other, then a part of energy get waste, or you can say it gets heated, or resistance get increased. And temperature coefficient of resistance of metal is more positive, and if it is more positive, alpha is more positive, so resistance is more. Then alloy. In alloy, it is resistance is directly proportional to temperature, means if temperature is more, the resistance of alloy is also more, and its temperature coefficient of resistance is positive but negligible, means very less. It means in alloy the increment in resistance with respect to temperature is very less, and this is the reason that many devices they are made of alloy, such as resistance box. Resistance box is made of alloy such as tungsten, manganese, and other is constantan. Constantan and manganese, they are alloy, and the temperature coefficient of resistance is positive but negligible, so increment in resistance with respect to temperature is very less. Similarly, semiconductor, as you know, in semiconductor the number of charge carriers are moderate. Number of charge carrier are moderate means there is vacancy is already present there. So when temperature increases, then more and more charge carrier become free, and if more and more charge carrier become free, it means its conductivity get increased, and when its conductivity get increased means resistance get decreased. So resistance of semiconductor is inversely proportional to temperature, and temperature coefficient of resistance of semiconductor is negative. Similarly, electrolyte. In electrolyte, resistance is inversely proportional to temperature. If temperature is more, then mobility of charge carrier get increased, and when mobility of charge carrier, actually they are ions here, get increased, and when it get increased, so its conductivity get increased, means resistance get decreased. So resistance of electrolyte is inversely proportional to temperature, and also temperature coefficient of resistance of electrolyte is negative. Clear? So these are the effect of temperature in metal, semiconductor, electrolyte and alloy. Then see here non-ohmic circuit. Non-ohmic circuit is already discussed, but listen once again. circuit which does not follow Ohm's law. It means if we draw the graph between V and I, the nature of graph is curve, not straight line. Dynamic resistance is the ratio of a small change in applied potential difference and respective change in current, that is delta R by delta V upon delta. Its unit is also ohm. Now the important point, change in resistance in different condition of resistance. When a conductor sectioned vertically into an unequal part, suppose here we have a cylindrical wire of area cross section capital A, of length L, having resistance R and specific resistance rho. It is sectioned vertically into unequal parts. Correct? So original resistance of the conductor R is equal to rho L upon A, and here when it is sectioned into unequal parts, then what happen, length of each part, suppose it is L dash, it become L by N. L dash is equal to L by N. Area cross section that will remains equal to initial area of cross section, and also its specific resistance that will remains same. Correct? So resistance of each part become R dash is equal to rho dash L dash upon A dash. Since rho dash is remain same, rho L dash remains same, and A dash L dash become L upon N, and A dash that will remains A. So finally we will get 1 by N rho L by A. So R dash is equal to R by N, means resistance of each part become 1 upon N times of original resistance. Clear? And if these N parts connected in parallel, so what happens? That is 1 upon R dash P is equal to 1 by R dash plus 1 by R dash up to N times, and when you simplify it, finally we will get R upon N square. It means if each N parts connected parallel to each other, then resultant resistance of the combination become 1 upon N square times of original resistance. Now the second case, when this wire sectioned horizontally into unequal parts, suppose it is divided into unequal parts, so length of each part that will remains equal to L, but the area of cross section of each part become A by N. A by N. Specific resistance remains same. So what are the resistance of each part? R dash is equal to rho dash L dash upon A dash, that is rho dash will remains rho, L dash will remains L, but A dash become A by N, and when we simplify it, it become N rho L by A, and rho L by A is its original resistance. So new resistance of each part become N times of original resistance of each part. R dash become N times of original resistance. Resistance get increased. Why it so happen? Because the wire become thinner, and as you know, for thin wire having more resistance, so wire resistance of each part become N times of original resistance. And if these N parts connected in series, so what happen? The resultant resistance become R dash S is equal to R dash plus R dash up to N times, and finally we will get N square R, means resultant resistance become N square times of original resistance. Clear? So this is the first case when it is sectioned horizontally and vertically. Now if bar is stressed in such a way that L dash become equal to NL, means if it stretches outward in such a way that its length increase and become N times of original length, so what happen? As you know, resistance of wire R is equal to rho L upon A. L is length, A is area cross section, rho is a specific resistance. If numerator and denominator both multiplied by L, it become rho L square upon AL, and area cross section into length, as you know, volume of cylinder is equal to area cross section into length, or you can say pi R square L. Correct? So yes, it become rho L square upon V. On stretching, rho L square upon V. On stretching, the volume remains same, and L dash become equal to N times of original length. So what happen? Here resistance is equal to rho L dash square upon V. L dash is the new length, and which is N times of original length. So instead of L dash, write down NL to become rho NL square upon V. R dash is equal to N square rho L square upon V, and rho L square upon V is original resistance, initial resistance. So R dash become N square times of original resistance. It means if a bar stretches outward in such a way that its length, then R dash is equal to new resistance is equal to N square times of original resistance. Suppose on stretching, if area cross section get decreased, as you know, so when it stretches outward and its area cross section become 1 upon N times of initial area cross section. In this time, the change in length is not given, change is given in terms of area cross section. So since as you know r is equal to rho L upon A, so r dash is equal to rho L dash upon A dash, it is the new resistance. So take r dash upon r, so you will get A dash by A dash into L dash by L. But on stretching, since volume remains same, it is initial volume and this is final volume, so A by A dash is equal to L dash by L. So since in this time length is not given, so eliminate L dash by L in terms of A by A dash. So instead of L dash by L, write down A by A dash, so it become A by A dash square. R dash by R is equal to A by A dash square. But A dash is 1 upon n times of original area cross section. So n is equal to A by A dash. So instead of A by A dash here, write down n. So R dash by R is equal to n square. R dash is equal to n square times of R. It means on stretching a wire in such a way that area cross section get decreased and become 1 upon n times of original area cross section, then new resistance get increased and become n square times of original resistance. Because on stretching, what happened, the wire become thinner, so resistance get increased. Either length become n times, the new resistance become n square times RR, or area cross section decrease by 1 upon n times, then also the new resistance become n square times of R. And similarly, it is given in the form of radius. Suppose if on stretching, if the radius become 1 upon n times of initial area, so R is equal to rho L by right area cross section in terms of radius, that is pi R square. So this is original resistance. On stretching, new resistance become rho L dash by A dash, that is rho L dash upon pi R dash square. Correct? So this is initial resistance and this one is final resistance. Take the ratio of these two, R dash by R is equal to, you will get L dash by L into R by R dash square. But in this time, the change in length is not given, the change in radius is given. But on stretching, the volume of wire remains same, means initial volume is equal to final volume. So pi R square L is equal to pi R dash square L dash. So R by R dash square is equal to L dash by L. So instead of L dash by L, write down R by R dash square. So here R by R dash square, if we simplify it, it become R by R dash power 4. But R dash means new radius is 1 upon n times of original radius. So n is equal to R by R dash. Instead of R by R dash, write down n. So you will get the same result. R dash is equal to n power 4 times of R. Means on stretching a wire, if radius become 1 upon n times of original radius, then new resistance become n power 4 times that of original resistance. Same result you will get in the case of diameter, because the diameter, as you know, is the twice of radius. So finally the result will remain same. R dash is equal to n power 4 times of R. Now let's see what happens if we compress it. Suppose on compressing the wire, when length get decreased and become 1 upon n times of original length. So on compressing, again the volume remains same. Initial volume is equal to final volume. So V dash is final volume and V is the initial volume. So yes, AL is equal to A dash L dash, and since initial resistance R is equal to rho L square upon V, on compressing, if L dash become L by N, so new resistance become rho L dash square upon V. Take the ratio of these two, R dash by R, so you will get L dash by L whole square. But L dash is equal to L by N. So L dash by L is equal to, it is 1 upon N. So instead of L dash by L, write down 1 upon N. So it become 1 upon N square. So R dash is equal to 1 upon N square times of original resistance. It means on compressing the wire, if length become 1 upon N times of original length, then the new resistance become 1 upon N square times of R. What happened? The new resistance, it get increased. Why? Because on compressing, the wire become thicker and smaller. In both the cases, resistance get increased. Now on compressing, when area cross section become n times of original area cross section, so what happened? See here, it is initial resistance rho L by A, it is final resistance rho L dash upon A dash, correct? So R dash by R is equal to, you will get L dash by L into A by A dash. But in this time, length is not given, area cross section given. Eliminate area cross section in terms of length. So here final volume is equal to initial volume, and A dash L dash is equal to AL. तो L dash upon L is equal to A by A dash. Eliminate L dash by L in terms of area cross section A by A dash. So here instead of L dash by L, write down A by A dash here. So you will get A by A dash square. Since new area cross section is n times of original area cross section, so 1 upon n is equal to A by A dash. Instead of A by A dash, write down 1 upon n. So it become 1 upon n square. So R dash is equal to R times of 1 upon n square. See here again, new resistance become 1 upon n square times of original resistance. Similarly, in the case of radius on compressing, if radius get increased and become n times of original radius, so write resistance in terms of radius, R is equal to rho L upon A, that is rho L upon pi R square. It is initial resistance. And final resistance R dash is equal to rho L dash upon pi R dash square. Correct? So take the ratio, and ratio become R dash upon R is equal to L dash by L into R by R dash square. But again in this time length is not given, only radius is given, and on compressing the volume remains same, and initial volume is equal to final volume. So you will get R by R dash square is equal to L dash by L. So instead of L dash by L, write down R by R dash square. So you will get R by R dash power 4. So R dash is equal to 1 upon n power 4 times of R. Means on compressing, if radius get increased and become n times of original radius, then new resistance what happen? Get become 1 upon n power 4 times of initial resistance. Correct? The resistance get decreased. Why get decreased? Because it become thicker. Same result in the case of diameter.